Hello, Will Thunder Talks here with another video. Going to do some reflecting, some thinking today. I got the question for you, so you come right on in. I'm Will, I'm from the UK. I talk about things I'm interested in, shoot my thoughts into the ether and see what happens. So the question for today is, what kind of responsibility do you feel you have for your community? So I guess I'm going to start by outlining what I think my community is. I feel like, I guess, a kind of duty from a community point of view with all people. I feel everyone is kind of part of my community, a bit hippy-dippy of me, but I think that all people are pretty cool, and I'm a big fan of all people in general. I like to be curious and try and better understand them, and sometimes I disagree with them and sometimes I agree with them, and like, that's okay. I get to learn regardless. But what kind of responsibility do I have specifically? I feel like I've been like walking through this line for a while, and I guess I'm going to give a bit of an arc to how I felt about having responsibility in a community. So I think historically I felt very avoidant about the idea of taking on responsibility in general, but definitely in a community sense, because I think I had some very warped ideas of responsibility, what I should do and shouldn't do for people when I was younger. I think it was mostly because of just being in a lot of psychological pain a lot of the time. I had something you might refer to as an unaliving spree. Attempts anyway. Didn't do it, thankfully. I'm still here making videos. I'm not some weird AI consciousness. But I think at the time I was so burdened by my own challenges, my own weight, my own stuff, that like I couldn't take on a degree of responsibility. And I guess to zoom out a bit, I feel like a lot of people are struggling right now, and I feel like it's really hard to ask people to take on more responsibility when everyone feels like they're drowning, right? Drowning in the cost of living, drowning in working too much, not having enough time off, not being connected to neighbors and stuff. And I guess in my part, I think it's because of the unhealthy expectations and pressures that are put on us from all angles. Getting the new car. See, I just come back from a car appointment. I'm a bit annoyed about that because you kind of try to sell me on like, oh, this is the new car, this is the new great car, you want the new great car, right? Just give us like £2,500. And I'm like, no, I don't really want the nice new car. I just wanted to see if it was going to be a good deal to swap to the nice new car. But I digress. When all of us have less and everything's expensive, it's kind of hard to take on more, right? It's hard to take on that responsibility. I guess historically, interestingly, again, I was maybe more on the anarchist side, burn it down, everything sucks. But I guess as I've gotten older a little bit, I've kind of appreciated a bit more of the social fabric, the social contract. But I guess I feel like there could be a few adjustments made to ensure that people get the value they feel they should get from contributing to said larger community, right? Taxes should pay for public services and for roads to be good and for our healthcare system to function. But I guess what I also feel of responsibility of my community kind of more presently is, I guess, being there for people and supporting people, like regardless of who you are, regardless of what you do, listening to you, hearing you out, trying to value your point of view. And sometimes I guess I find it hard to do that because I'm like tired and exhausted and stressed myself. And so like I empathize with the people that struggle to give to their kind of communities, which I argue is like anyone that's around you. But I really feel it's important to create that social fabric, to create that social web, because like we all need each other. And I feel like we're in a world now more than ever where there's a lot of division. There's a lot of, I'm a single person and I'm going to do all of this. I'm going to topple this by myself. And I just feel like historically, in the West anyway, we were more community orientated. We're going to do things as a collective. I mean, I think about art and music. Like, it all used to be about bands, man. It used to be bands of musicians, groups of musicians collaborating together to make awesome music. I was listening to Yes the other day, the Fragile album. Love that album. Cool album. Technically, very complicated. Beyond my skill set to replicate musically, but what an album. Roundabout's amazing. Love that song. But I look at artists now, and it's artists. It's not bands, it's artists. It's one person, one individual, right? More so, I feel now, than it has been historically. I feel the culture reflects that. I feel we do more things, or expected to do more things by ourselves. But the reality is we're not good at that. We built a whole society collaboratively. We put effort into communities collaboratively, and we built cool stuff because we helped each other, right? And I guess the responsibility I feel for my community is to empower people to do things and bring back this let's do stuff together mentality, right? I think that's when we're at our best as a species, as a nation, as a continent, as a species, as a planet. I think we thrive when we identify each other's strengths and cover each other's weaknesses as a collective. And I think there's more and more of like the opposite message around. So I really feel like my responsibility is to help people understand they don't have to do it all by themselves. I don't have to do it all by themselves. I don't do everything in these videos all by myself. Shout out to my wonderful friend Mark. He does my thumbnails. I appreciate that guy. I do lots of stuff with him. You know, over the years, he's my creative buddy, Mark Hostler. If you're watching, good stuff. You're a good guy, like you. And we all need help, man. We all need help with all kinds of things. I go to therapy. My wife helps me with some things. I help my wife with some things. I used to volunteer at Nerdy Cafe, which is unfortunately no longer a thing, but I kind of still had that value and belief that it was like, well, I want people to be themselves. I want people to be in an environment where they can kind of just be chill and fun and hang and feel connected and bring their own skill sets and do their own things. I think that's insanely valuable. And I think I want bands back. I want people doing things together back. I want community efforts. I want people to get together and be together and feel connected. And I think a lot of the loneliness epidemic we'll face is in part because we're becoming more individualistic. We're becoming less. I think this is something I envy maybe a bit more about the East, like India and China and Japan. They're very collectivist. In Japan, I think I heard that it's kind of almost seems as a civic responsibility to encourage people who are overweight to lose weight. They kind of do that via shaming and kind of making fun of them. I don't really agree with that part, but like I agree with the general spirit that like everyone's health is kind of like the community's responsibility, right? We'll care about each other. I think we can approach it a little more compassionately sometimes, maybe Japan. But the spirit of it's beautiful. I love it. And I think I don't see that as much in my country. I see it in ways. I see how individuals can be beautiful people. I think there's some very beautiful people literally around me, and I'm very grateful that they exist. However, I think my broader culture in the UK, of my experience of it, is kind of a bit more like, these days it's turned a bit more to be polarizing, whereas some people are very collectivist like myself, and some people are very like, well, I've done everything myself, and I've done 50-mile walks to school every day, and you know, we're big. I mean, I think about the existential community, and I guess I use that, and I mean by that like the ancestral community, what we've learned from our ancestors, right? Everything that's around us. I'm thinking in the UK, like I grew up in a cottage, the stable cottage it's hundreds of years old, and there's like stuff about how that house is built, and stuff around that house, and the history of that house. It's like ancestral knowledge. There's a community in that. There's a connection in that. it's kind of my responsibility to carry that vibe through. Kind of to be like, we can do things together and we can grow and learn together, and everyone wins when we work with each other. So let's keep doing that. Let's keep working together. Well, let's start working together, right? My responsibility to my community is to be as present as I can, to care about the people and to empower them. And I hope you have your own little role too. I'm going to leave that there for today. I've been Will. You've been wonderful. You know how it is. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.